Good afternoon. My name's Susan Arkley. I'm the chair of the newly created Food Innovation SIG. Today, on behalf of the SIG, I'd like to share with you the journey we've been on to develop the SIG, introduce the SIG members and our plans. If you've any comments, questions or feedback as we go through our presentation, please drop them in the chat box and we'll follow up with you after the presentation. We've so much to tell you, and as pictures speak 1,000 words, we'd like to share this video to give you a flavour of what we're all about. Thank you. Towards the end of the video, the number 1,820 appeared. Have you got any guesses what that might be? Drop your guesses into the chat and we'll come back to that later on. You will have seen the phrase passion led us here in the video, and that really was our starting point, a group of individuals from across the food industry with a passion for innovation. Our first challenge was to define what innovation meant to us and to agree on a common definition that would be used within the group. We did this through many discussions, a review of the competitive landscape and a gap analysis to define the space where the innovation SIG would sit and what the scope, purpose and USP of the group would be. This word cloud summarises some of the themes, words, phrases and ideas that came out of our very lively discussions. Next slide, please. We refined our ideas into a clear and concise purpose for the group, which is to promote and inspire excellence in food, product and packaging innovation. Next slide, please. The scope of the group defines how we will achieve our purpose. We will showcase innovation best practice within the industry. We will champion an innovation mindset in all that we do. We will curate an innovation toolkit to be made available to IFST members to use in their innovation activities. We will have innovation insights and horizon scanning as our compass to guide our activities and outputs. Next slide, please. Our group is made up of all sorts of people from across the food industry. The photos show some of the team, but we currently have 22 members and are growing. We are a very diverse team, ranging in experience, expertise, the food industry sector that we represent, and the type of products that we work with. In forming, storming and norming our group, we have identified some key strengths which we believe give us our USP, and these are our independent insight, our diversity of experience and expertise, and the fact that we represent and provide a networking platform for innovators across the entire food industry and at all stages of their careers. Aside from our common passion for innovation, we are a group of individuals and bring our independent insights to the group. As I've said, we have wide diversity of experience and expertise within the group. As individuals, we have from between 1 and 38 years of food industry experience, and collectively we clock up well over 290 years of experience. We represent virtually all sectors of the food industry, working or having worked in academia and education, innovation, R&D, technical, NPD, manufacturing, sensory and consumer science, distribution, consultancy, and food blogging. Between us, we have worked in or for over 275 different companies in over 40 countries across 5 continents. We've been inspired by many different food heroes over the years, from being taught to cook by our granny, being inspired by Claudia Roden, Jamie Oliver, Magnus Pike, Dean Brett Schneider, and Professor Andy Taylor, to name a few. And remember that number in the video. Collectively, the SIG have launched over 1,820 new food and drink products into the market. You can read a lot more about each team member on the Food Innovation SIG website. Next slide, please. So what's next for the Food Innovation SIG? Members of the SIG have already been involved in the IFST horizon scanning activity, and we have participated in the workshop to identify key trends. We've also been part of the IFST discussion on national food strategy, so the SIG is already being represented and making an impact within IFST. We've recently connected with the European section of the Research Chefs Association, and we're looking for opportunities to connect with other organisations that complement our activities. Our monthly SIG meetings are structured to give an inspiration space, which is an input, learning or training opportunity, either from a guest speaker or from a SIG member on a pertinent topic, as well as team building and planning activities. We've connected with the Ecotrophilia team, and we're working with them to offer mentoring opportunities to the student teams as they progress through the competition. We're also planning our SIG launch event, which we will bring to you later this year. Next slide, please. We're a new group and we're still open to members. So if you have a passion for innovation in food or packaging or consumer insights, culinary or anything related to food and the food industry, maybe this is the group for you. We'd love to have you on board. Next slide, please. Thank you for listening, but before we finish, we'd like to ask you a question and invite you to take part in a poll to help us shape our future activities and outputs. What would you like to see from the Food Innovation SIG? Could we have the poll, please? So in addition to our webinars, what else would you like to see from the Food Innovation SIG? Please could you choose 2 options from the menu of a blog on food innovation, a podcast with food innovators, articles in the IFST journal, roadshows on innovation for schools or businesses, collaboration with other bodies for the advancement of innovation in food, an IFST innovation manual or toolkit, the development of a recognised qualification, for example, a registered innovator, or an innovation prize or award to complement Ecotrophilia or something similar. If you could make your choices, please. Wow, that's really interesting. Thank you so much for answering the poll. It looks like lots of people are really interested in having podcasts, which we think would be a really lovely addition to the offering. The digital offering is already from the IFST. So that's something that we will definitely look into, how we could make that happen and bring that to you. And also closely following on is the development of an IFST innovation manual and toolkit, which is something that we identified within the group ourselves that we would love to start working on. And then closely following up is collaboration with other food bodies, other bodies for the advancement of innovation in food. So again, something that we've identified within the group and are very, very keen to do. So thank you very much for your input into our poll. We will obviously consider those in our future activities. So I'd just like to close by saying thanks again for listening, and thanks to the IFST for giving us this opportunity to set up this new SIG and the opportunity within Members Week to tell you all about it. Hope you enjoy the rest of Members Week, and thanks very much for listening.